Visiting the Keukenhof Gardens is really amazing, but it can be quite stressful also if you don't know the best route to take. In this compilation video, I'm going to tell you the best route and give you some great tips so that you too can have a stress-free visit to the Keukenhof Gardens.
Keukenhof Gardens is an absolute must to visit if you're in Amsterdam during the spring. With that said, it is one of the busiest tourist attractions in the whole country of the Netherlands. So if you don't plan beforehand, you will get frustrated by the people and actually miss out on seeing things. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to get there, how to get the best viewing of all the flowers, how to handle food, everything you need to know logistically so that you can have a successful and enjoyable trip at the Keukenhof Gardens. There are two main ways for tourists to get to Keukenhof Gardens. One is via taxi, but that's expensive. It's 130 to 150 euros each way. My suggested way is public transportation. Buy a day pass, and you start at City Centro, and then there's actually a bus called 852 that goes directly from City Centro to the parking lot of Keukenhof Gardens. Thus, you get a straight ride through the countryside, and it's a lot cheaper. Now let me help you understand the layout of Keukenhof Gardens. There are 7 main buildings to the gardens, and in between all of those are tons of paths that curve around and are completely full of flowers. One thing to note is that Keukenhof Gardens has the same flowers in multiple places along the paths. So at least as long as you see half of them, you've seen all the flowers at least once, if not multiple times. Irene and Wilhelmina are both buildings that are shopping as well as conference buildings. Juliana or Tulip Mania is a history museum of tulips. So it walks you through all the last several hundred years and how tulips got to be so prevalent in the Netherlands. The 3 main buildings to aim your time for at Keukenhof Gardens is Oranje Nassau, which is where they show each week a different type of cut flower that is not tulips. Wilhelm Alexander, which is where they have the main tulip bed displays. And then you have Beatrix, which is where they have the huge orchid display. This is where you focus your time along with the meal. Let me explain how I suggest seeing all of these buildings. One thing to note is that everybody tells you to be at Keukenhof Garden right when it opens. That's a good plan, except everybody else is doing the same thing. What we chose to do was to get there about noon, have a leisurely lunch, and all those people that were there first thing in the morning were now getting tired and leaving. So we actually had the crowds going the opposite way when we got there, and if you stay into the late afternoon, you get some amazing shots of the tulips in the great light. When you arrive at Keukenhof Gardens and make it to the main entrance, I recommend you going to the left toward Juliana, Tulip Mania, and working all of those sidewalks over there. Most people don't do this, so you're going to have good views of the tulips and get some great photographs. Then you work up toward the lake and the swans. Your goal is eventually to come around the top and end up at Beatrix. Many people choose not to see Beatrix because it is an orchid display, but let me tell you, they are gorgeous. So if you're a flower person, you need to check out Beatrix. When you finish with Beatrix and you've made it through the cherry blossom trees, take the first left you possibly can take. Most people don't go down this path, and there's 3 reasons I'm going to send you down it. First off is that you can see actually across the canal into the commercial tulip farms that are right outside of Keukenhof. Second, when you walk through this area, they have all these old antique cars they've now used for planters. Third is, as you approach the mill on this side, if you look up, there's an amazing photo shoot opportunity where you can get the mill behind you with some great flowers, and there's no crowd over here. Once you make it to the courtyard in front of the windmill, just realize it's the densest populated area of the whole time that the park is open, because there's the food court there, the mill that you can look inside of, as well as that's where people meet the boats if you want to do the canals. Once you've enjoyed the windmill courtyard, head toward William Alexander. Meander through the playground area because the Rinsk Museum actually puts up temporary exhibits of paintings in that area that are actually really enjoyable to see. The William Alexander building is massive and there'll be tons of people in here, but let me tell you how to enjoy it. When you first walk in the main door, if you look to your left and look to your right, you'll notice there's 2 water features surrounded by amaryllis. Realize this building is duplicated 2 to 4 times depending on how popular tulips are. Thus, don't feel like you need to see every patch of tulips because you will see them all in multiple times if you did the whole building. So choose a left side or a right side and explore that side, and you will know that you've already seen all the tulips on the other side also. If you're not completely worn out after seeing William Alexander, then come to the Orange Nassau building where you can see all the cut flower exhibits that are set up by local groups in the area. There are very lovely things in there, but just realize it's not going to be tulips. There are 5 restaurants in Keukenhof Gardens, and each one serves slightly different food. For example, the main entrance serves pasta and pizza. We ate at Orange Nassau where they did pasta salads and wraps and sandwiches. Over at Wilhelm, they do different sandwiches and smoothies. So feel free to wander around and find the food that matches your choice. Another food choice location is the food trucks in front of the windmill. They are the staple snack foods of the Netherlands, such as French fries and stroopwafels. You also have the ability to bring in your own lunch to Keukenhof Gardens. No matter how you choose to get your food, I really recommend you take it out into the grass around Keukenhof, sit around the tulips, have a picnic. They're great with that, and it's a great way to enjoy nature while you're there and enjoying a good meal. Let's talk shopping. All of the shopping areas carry the same type of items except for Beatrix, which at Beatrix they focus completely on orchids. Everywhere else you'll find the same thing, so just choose the closest location to find your souvenirs. I hope you found this video helpful on planning your trip to Keukenhof Gardens. If you want to see what you're going to see while there, click this next video to see all the amazing tulips and other flowers you'll find when you visit.